They thought I was the weak one, the quiet daughter who would obey anything. But when my stepmom demanded I pay her $800 rent in my own father's house, she lit a fuse she couldn't put out. By the time she realized what I controlled, it was already too late. Because I didn't just refuse, I evicted her kids, and took back every cent of the $1.2 million she stole from us. My name is Elara Reeves, and I never wanted a war with my own family. But sometimes, family draws first blood. Growing up, it was just me and my dad, Marcus Reeves. He wasn't perfect, but he loved me, defended me, and worked his whole life to build something for us. Our home, our safety, our future. And then came the woman who destroyed everything. Her name was Vanessa Crowell, but everyone in town called her Sweet V. Pretty smile, soft voice, and a talent for manipulating anyone with a heartbeat. After Dad married her, things changed fast. Suddenly, our home felt like a hotel I was overstaying at. Her kids, Brady, 19, and Harper, 17, moved in with their socks on the floor, their mouths full of insults, and their hands always waiting for money. Dad didn't see it. He was in love, and I didn't want to break his heart. So I stayed quiet. I kept my head down. I focused on college, working part-time, saving every dollar like survival depended on it. I had no idea how much I'd need that strength later. The first strike. Things reached the breaking point last winter, 2 months after Dad passed away suddenly from a stroke. I was 22, devastated, grieving, barely functioning. But Vanessa? She was energized. Within days of the funeral, she changed the locks on the office, started meeting with Dad's lawyer alone, and began walking through the house like she owned every inch of it. One night, as I sat at the dining table going through Dad's old notebooks, she strutted in wearing silk pajamas and an attitude. "Elara," she said, tapping her nails on the table, "now that your father is gone, we need to talk about your responsibilities." My stomach tightened. "What responsibilities?" She sighed like I was exhausting her. "You're an adult. This household costs money, so starting next month, you'll pay $800 rent." My chair scraped against the floor as I stood. "Rent in my own dad's house?" She smirked. "Correction, my house now." I could barely breathe. "My father would never—" "Your father isn't here anymore," she snapped. "And if you can't pay rent, you can find somewhere else to live." Somewhere else, as if I was a stray dog she could toss outside. Something inside me cracked, but not in the way she expected. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I just whispered, "Okay." And in that moment, Vanessa had no idea she had just declared war. The discovery. The next morning, while Vanessa and her kids slept until noon as usual, I slipped into Dad's office. Everything was exactly how he left it. His old leather chair, his messy notebooks, his boxes of receipts. I searched for hours. Tax records, bank statements, investment files. And then I found it. A folder labeled, "Family Trust, Confidential." My heart pounded as I opened it. Inside were documents showing that my dad had created a family trust worth $1.2 million. A trust with one beneficiary. Me. My hands shook. Vanessa wasn't just clueless. She was actively trying to push out the rightful heir. But the trust had a very specific rule. No step-relative could access funds, control property, or make decisions involving assets. Translation, Vanessa had zero legal right to the house. None. But she didn't know that, yet. And I wasn't telling her a damn thing until I had every legal weapon ready. The plan begins. I hired an attorney named Selene Brooks, a brilliant woman who had known my dad for years. When she read the trust documents, she looked at me with a mixture of pity and fury. "Elara, your father protected you more than you realize. And Vanessa? She's about to hit a legal brick wall." We filed a petition to enforce the trust, a request for emergency control of all assets, and a court order to determine rightful ownership of the house. Selene told me not to say anything to Vanessa, so I didn't. I cleaned my room, went to work, acted obedient, paid her fake rent bill with a blank check so she'd think I was broke. She bought every lie, but as the court date approached, Vanessa started getting bold. The $800 rent turns into humiliation. One morning, I walked into the kitchen to find Brady and Harper laughing at a note taped to the fridge. "Elara, rent due in 2 days, clean the garage or add $50. Below it, Harper wrote in pink glitter pen, "Don't forget your chores, princess." Brady snorted. "Can't believe she's still living here for pennies." I ignored them. Silence is the sharpest blade when wielded right. As I turned to leave, Vanessa walked in wearing a robe and holding a champagne glass. "Elara," she said sweetly, "don't forget your rent. I can't support 3 kids on my own." 3 kids? She counted me as one of hers. I nearly laughed, but the real explosion came 2 nights later. The night they pushed me too far. I came home from work around 9:30 p.m. Vanessa, Brady, and Harper were in the living room eating pizza and watching TV. As soon as I walked in, Vanessa muted the TV and crossed her arms. "Elara, where's your rent?" "It was due this morning." I set my backpack down gently. "You'll get it tomorrow." Brady scoffed. "If you can't afford $800, maybe you shouldn't be living in a house like this?" Harper chimed in. "Just saying. It's kinda pathetic." Vanessa's smile sharpened. "You know, Elara, some people your age are grateful to have a roof over their head. But since you're so ungrateful," she tossed a sealed envelope at me. Inside was a 30-day eviction notice. My throat closed. She wasn't just attacking. She was erasing me. I folded the paper neatly, tucked it into my pocket, and said, "Thank you. This is exactly what I needed." They watched me walk upstairs with confusion, because they didn't know what I knew. They didn't know tomorrow was the day everything changed. Court day, the beginning of their end. The courtroom was quiet, cold, and tense. Vanessa arrived wearing a black blazer and fake tears. Her kids flanked her like emotional support parasites. She whispered loudly to the clerk, "I'm here because my stepdaughter refuses to contribute financially." I've been supporting her alone. Supporting me? I almost choked. When the judge called us forward, Vanessa launched into her performance. "Your Honor, I'm a widow. I've been paying all the bills. Elara refuses to pay rent and is making our home unlivable." The judge turned to me. "Ms. Elara, do you have something to present?" I opened the trust folder. Silence swept through the courtroom as page after page proved. The house belonged to the trust, not to Vanessa. Vanessa had no legal claim to the property. All financial assets were under my control. Vanessa had attempted unlawful eviction. The judge looked up slowly. "Mrs. Crowell, why did you demand rent from the legal owner of the home?" Vanessa blinked, stuttered, sweated. "But I'm her stepmother." "That gives you no legal right," the judge cut in. "In fact, you and your children are unlawfully occupying the property." Brady swore under his breath. Harper turned pale, and then the judge delivered the killing blow. "You have 14 days to vacate the premises. All assets revert to Ms. Elara Reeves immediately." Vanessa gasped. "But where will we go?" The judge shrugged. "That is not Miss Reeves' responsibility." For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. The eviction and the final payback. The day they moved out, I sat on the porch steps, sipping coffee as movers carried out their cheap furniture. Vanessa stomped toward me, mascara running. "You did this," she hissed. "You ruined our lives." I looked up calmly. "You ruined my father's first." Brady glared. "You're heartless." "No," I said softly. "I'm done being your victim." As Vanessa climbed into her car, I added, "Oh, and Vanessa?" She turned. "The $2 million you drained from Dad's accounts? The trust protects it. I'm getting every cent back." Her face collapsed. "You can't. It's already done. You should really read legal documents before trying to steal from someone smarter than you." Harper burst into tears. Brady punched the dashboard. Vanessa sped off without another word. And just like that, the parasites were gone. Epilogue. The new beginning. I renovated the house, repainted the walls, turned the office into a scholarship foundation in my dad's name. I didn't celebrate vengeance. I celebrated freedom. Every night I sit on the porch and feel the quiet peace my father wanted for me. And if he could see me now, strong, steady, unshaken, I know he'd whisper, "Good girl, you protected what I built." Because in the end, they tried to charge me $800 rent and lost a $1.2 million empire in return.